There, Fire Turtle, it's Game Changer here. So, just checking here, absolutely fantastic attack and defending HQ rate. So, really well done there, mate. 180 fobs does suggest you're not a sort of fob orientated player, which is great if you can get away with them. But just make sure, obviously, they are up to level 7. If not already, I suspect you probably have them already up there. Let's have a little scan at your base. Okay, so first things first, see what you're doing. You're pushing that right into the corner. It does make obviously negotiating around it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more interesting. It would suggest though that if I were to airstrike, your airstrike would come from this side, the shortest journey, and I suspect that would leave you quite vulnerable to that heavy flak being taken out. So what I would strongly suggest that you do, knowing that, is where those two mines are there, I would have put your CC. So as the birds come, and I'll kind of demonstrate that just here. Obviously I haven't got anything to take you out on an altar camp, so but if I say send the birds in, they'll come from that side there. Yeah, and what I would have done with that is I would have had, say, 5 F-22s, and that would literally obliterate that, and then I would start on you with the helicopter attack. Yes, I'd get obviously hit by flak, but I suspect I'd be able to take you out enough and then get in amongst you, because the only thing that's going to obviously hit helicopters that's in your base is well, nothing going to come out of there so far. That's obviously a tank. Might have red eye, to be fair. You may have snipers or something in your infantry. Yeah, there's a couple of snipers in there, but I still fancy that that's where your vulnerability would be. So I would move your CC, let's say where those two mines are there. That would be excellent. You will find as well with Grizzlies, these little two gaps in the wall. Yes, I mean, to be fair, your walls aren't exactly going to be causing most players any bother if they have got Grizzlies. But those gaps do mean the Grizzlies can run straight through, so you need to be mindful of that. I'd also possibly get these howitzers, the bigger howitzers. I mean, when you get level 10, I know you cannot, but get them tucked up inside walls and things like that, so they're kind of usually really tucked up. I mean, probably more likely, say, in... Let's have a little scan. You don't seem to have the little kind of L shape per wall. You may be using the other part. It's probably there. You see that little L shape there? Quite often we'll build bases into that sort of zone, and then do the mirror image of that, and then you can tuck the howitzer and they transform right into that corner. It makes it very difficult to dig it out. By having your base on this side, you haven't actually got that piece of cover there, so maybe that's something to have a little look at. I quite like that you've got some nice howitzers in there. I like how you've got your mines protecting the outside of the flak, so that's going to work out well, and that's nice as well. You have got a panzer, so that's good as well. So yeah, I've got quite a few things covered, but I just fancy that if I were to take out your base, I'd probably swap to a full heli platoon with F-22s all stacked, and I'd send in all 5 literally, and then at the last minute I would deploy my choppers, and what that does, the flak then locks straight onto the choppers, and the F-22s get through quite easily, and quite often clear the whole centre of the map out. So it's certainly a good technique and something to be aware of. So use the CC wisely to protect. Other than that, mate, I like what you're doing. I like how you're pushing the base into the corner. That works really well. So have a look at turrets. They look all to be pretty much all 7s, which is excellent. Even start to get a few 8s in there, so that's brilliant. Yeah, overall, mate, I'm really impressed. I can see why your defense stats are obviously quite high. I mean, it could be, to be fair, you know, you're not a massive PvP player potentially, and it could be that what that does is that the more you get into PvP, the higher infamy, and then you start getting obviously your ass kicked a bit more, which kind of damages your defense stats. I find that quite a bit for myself, but It depends on obviously what you want from the game, but overall, my friend, very very nice. Well done. Cheers, bro.